Hello students, today we will study about a legend of the northern land. Introduction is the poem, and now we will do the introduction of this poem, that what we have found in this poem, and it is from class 9 Beehive, from the book Beehive. And a legend of northern land is a ballad. A ballad is a poem narrating a story in a short stanzas. Ballad is such kind of poem that tells a story in short stanza. In the poem, all the stanzas are comprise 4 lines. In total, there are 16 stanza in this poem, and these stanza will tell us a story. Ballad is a part of a folk culture or a popular culture and are passed on orally from the generation to the next generation. This story is of the northern area, the area which is near the northern pole. This exact place is not specified, but northern land means the area in the northernmost part of the earth. Near the northern pole, legend means a historical story on which very old and has been passed from generation to generation. Away and away in the northern land, where the hours of the day are few, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. In the region around the northern pole, the duration of the day is very less because its position is such that the sun rays reach from a very less time. When this area is experiencing winter season, the duration of night is very long and the daytime hours are very less in the line. They refers to the people who live in the region. The poets say that the duration of the night time is so long that the people cannot sleep them through. If they go to bed, take a few hours of sleep and then they wake up, it is still night time. He wants to emphasize on the fact that the duration of the night is very long. Now, where they harness and the swift reindeers to the sledges when it snow and the children look like a bear cubs in the funny furry clothes. The northern region experiencing severe cold. It is snowy area. It is the reindeers is an animal which is found in this polar region. People tie the reindeers to the sledges. Sledges means a vehicles on runners for conveying loads or a passenger over snow pulled by the draught animal. People tie the reindeers to sledges and the reindeers pull the sledges, and he added the children look like young ones who wear because they were funny looking clothes made of fur which is like the furry skin of a bear. They tell they tell them a curious story I don't believe true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the false to you. Curious means a strange. Explanations of this stranger are they refers to the parents of elder and them refers to the children or the younger generation. The elder of the northern land region tell a strange and interesting story of young generation. The poet say that he doesn't think that the story is true. But if he tells the story to the reader, maybe the reader could be learned a lesson from it. The story gives an important message. Once, when the good and Saint Peter lives in the world below and walked about it and perchance just as it did, Saint Peter, an apostle of Christ, a disciple or the following of or we can say that followers of Jesus Christ is Saint Peter. The story is about Saint Peter when Saint Peter used to live in the world and went around giving religious lecture to the people just like all saints do. Then the incident happens. He came to door he came to the door of a cottage in traveling round the earth where a little woman was making a cakes and baking them on the earth. When Saint Peter was moving around the world giving religious lecture of the people to the people, and he reached the door of a cottage when a small woman was making cake. She was baking the cake in the fireplace, and being faint with fastings for the day and almost done, he asked her from her store of cake to give him a single one. As if Saint Peter has eaten anything, not eaten anything the entire day, and he was very hungry and was feeling weak. So he went to this woman who was baking cake, and he asked for one cake out of many cakes, and she had baked. So she made a little cake. So she made a little cake, but as it baking lay, she looked at it through it seemed too large to give away. The woman was selfish. She did not give cake from her store. Instead, they started making a very small cake for Saint Peter. She did not want to share her things, but when she put the cake for baking, she looked at it and thought that this cake was too big to be given to someone. Therefore, she needs another. Therefore, she needed another, still a smaller one, but it looked when she turned it over as large as the first had done. The little miser woman thought that the cake was too big to be given away, so she started making another smaller cake. When she looked at the cake, she again felt that it was as big as the previous one. Again, she was not ready to give the smaller cake to Saint Peter. Then she took tiny scrap. Then she took a tiny scrap of dough and rolled it flat and baked it thin a waffle, but she couldn't part with that. The third time she took a very small amount of dough and rolled it. The poet say that she rolled and rolled to lay emphasis on the fact that she rolled the dough and made it very thin like a wafers and baked it, but she was so greedy that she couldn't give that thin piece of bread to the saint, for she said, my cake that seemed too small, when I eat of them myself, are yet too large to give away, so she put them on the shelf. The woman reasoned that when she ate the cake, she felt that they were very small, but if she had to give them to someone, she felt that they were too big to be given away. She put all the cakes on the shelf, and her kitchen she did not give any cake to Saint Peter. Then good Saint Peter grew angry, for he was hungry and faint, and surely such a woman was enough to provoke a saint. Provoke means a cause to get angry. Saint Peter became an angry. He was very hungry. He was feeling very weak, and a selfish woman was not ready to give him even a small cake. This behavior of greedy woman angered the saint, and he said, you are far too selfish to dwell in human form, to have both food and shelter and fire to keep you warm. Dwell means to live. Saint Peter cursed the woman and said that she was very selfish. She did not deserve to live a human being. He added that the God has given her food, shelter, fire to keep warm, but she had become selfish for all the resources she had. She did not want to share them with anybody. Now you shall build a bird do, and shall get your scanty foods by borings and the borings all day in the hard, dry wood. Now, scanty means very little, and boring means making holes in sometimes with the tools or by digging. Saint Peter cursed the woman that hence she would become a bird because she did not deserve the human forms. she shall become a bird just like a bird build their house by boring into the wood and collect very little food by working hard entire day. Similarly, she would be also work hard in the dry wood all days and get a little food and make a small place herself to live. Then up she went through the chimney and never speak a word, and out of top flew a woodpecker, for she was changed to a bird. She had as soon as Saint Peter cursed a woman, she did not get a chance to speak herself because that at that moment she flew up to the roof through the chimney and flew out in the form of bird. Saint Peter cursed and converted the woman into bird. She had scarlet cap on her head. She had a scallop cap on her head and that was left the same, but all the rest of her clothes were burned black as a coal in the flame. When the woman turned into a bird, at that time she was wearing a red colored cap on her head. This cap was there on the bird head also, but the woman remaining clothes has burned and turned black in color just like a coal. And every country schoolboy has seen her in the wood where she lives in the tree till this very day, boring and boring for food. People who lived in the countryside, even the small children who go to school, see the kinds of a birds in the wood. They see that she stay there all day and keep on digging the wood with her beak to collect her food. Whenever any child sees this kind of bird, then his elder tell him this story. They said the bird used to a woman earlier. She was very greedy and so she was cursed by a Saint Peter and turned into a bird. They get teaching that they should not be greedy. They should not be greedy. This is the moral of the poem. So student, today I have completed this poem and we will meet in the next video.